friends, it's Miss Barnett, your art teacher. Today we've been talking about how artists observe flowers and think about lines, shapes, and colors to recreate the beauty that nature gives us. So today I want you to think about, first off, where are you going to find your flower? If you're at home, it might be a good idea to go outside and take a nature walk. Love nature. Artists go out in nature all the time. Look around, and maybe you have a flowering plant or a garden close to you. Make sure you have your parents' permission before you leave the house and you have somebody supervising you so you're safe. The other option you can do, which I have here in the classroom, is fake flowers. So you can, sometimes moms and dads have these in the house. Oops, this thing's falling out. Or you can go to Walmart or Hobby Lobby and get one of these for pretty cheap. These are lots of different flowers, but you really only need one. The other option you can do if you don't have any real flowers or you don't want to go buy a fake flower is you can go on the internet and do a Google search for close-ups of flowers, and you will find a million different types of flowers to choose from. So you have three options on how to find the subject for your picture, which should be a flower. And I want you to think about and study very carefully its shape, the lines that you see, and the colors that are in the flower. So if you look very closely at this, you see a lot more detail up close than you do if you're further away. So you want to really use your artist eye and get in really close and look from all the different angles. And then you need to decide, are you going to focus on the blooms? Or are you going to focus on the container they're in? Now you could put it in a cup, you could put it in a vase, or you could just use your imagination and draw your own. The other thing I want you to think about is I want you to draw the bloom or the colored part of your flower first. That way you have enough room on your page that you get all the detail that we've been talking about today. You can fit in the stems and the vase later. Focus on the flowering part first. Okay? I want you to think about whether or not the petals on your flowers are going to use straight lines or curvy lines. Now, you're going to use a lot of different types of lines on your paper. I want you to use some thick lines and some thin lines in places, some wavy lines and some straight lines. Now, if I look at my flower here, my petals are almost straight until you get to the very end and then they're curved. My stems at the bottom are thicker than they are at the top, and I have lots of wavy lines on my leaves. So if you're looking and identifying where these lines are before you even start, your drawing is going to be a million times better. So take a minute, observe your flower, find your flower, and really look closely. Notice what kinds of lines you see, what kinds of shapes you see, and what kind of colors you see, and then I'll show you how to make this. Hello friends, we're going to start working on our flower now. So you're going to need a piece of paper. You need to decide if your flower is going to be tall. If so, your paper will be vertical, or if your flower is wider, you're going to need to put your paper horizontally. You also will need either some markers. You can use Crayolas. Today I'm going to use Sharpies, or you can always use crayons. Whatever you have that gives you color is totally fine with me. So I'm going to get settled in my seat. I might sketch this out with a pencil first. You don't have to do that. If you want to just get started, that is totally fine with me. Remember, we're going to look very closely at our flowers, and we're going to start with the bloom, the colored part first. So I'm looking with my artist eye, and I'm starting with some shapes. And I might just put in some where these flowers I see are going to be. There's so I've got the basic shape down. I drew very light, draw light till you get it right. Then I'm going to start looking at the shapes. And I'll do this first one. So for the thinner lines, I'm using the tip of my pencil. You could also use the tip of your marker or your crayon to do that. And then to make some thicker lines, you're going to use the side. And you might want, it's not a horrible idea to get a piece of scratch paper and practice these lines. I know we did this before, but you might want to practice again with whatever media you're making with today and see how you can hold it differently or use it in different ways to make different types of line. And we can even do that with a Crayola marker. All of these drawing utensils usually work about the same way. So the tip for the thinner lines and the side for the thicker lines. I'm gonna go ahead and speed up my camera so you can watch me work. You just do your best and we'll forget the rest. All right, friends, so we have just finished the blooms of our flowers. Now I'm going to go in and start focusing on these leaves right here, and I'm going to show you how I do that in time lapse. Here we go. All right, friends, so when I drew my leaves, I really looked at the shapes of the lines and I looked at the colors, and I noticed when I looked very closely at these leaves, they had some brown spots on them. So I made sure I added that into my drawing, and I wanted to make sure to include the lines that are in the stems or in the leaves. And if I wanted to make the color a little lighter, you can definitely change your media. So I used a crayon to make that softer green. So don't feel like you're stuck. If you have more than one thing you can color with, you can absolutely use it. Now I'm going to move on to the container in the background. Here we go. All right, friends, here is my finished flower drawing using markers and crayons. I looked very closely. I started with the blooms, the colors, then I moved on to the leaves and the stems. I put lots of different types of line in my picture. I have some thin lines, some straighter kind of lines right through here, some curved lines on my petals and on the leaves, and I even added some thin and thick lines. So I also made sure, like the artist that we looked at earlier today, I kept my background very simple. So the emphasis, the pop of my picture would be my flowers. So I hope you have a lot of fun doing this today. Remember, try your best, forget the rest, and do your best. And I will talk to you later. Have a good time, guys. Bye.